In Jacob chapter 5, the prophet Zenos presents a 300-year historical blueprint disguised as a story about a single tree. The tame olive tree represents the house of Israel, while those massive, weathered roots anchor the tree to foundational covenants God established with his people. Roughly 1,000 years before Christ, the tree reached a crisis point. After centuries of growth, the main top began to decay, a physical reflection of a nation falling into widespread apostasy. The master of the vineyard attempted to save the tree through standard labor. He pruned the branches, which served as divine judgments. He dug around the base to build defenses for the righteous, and he nourished the soil by sending prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah. While these efforts produced a few new sprouts, the core of the tree continued to perish. The standard maintenance was failing to stop the rot. Because localized interventions could not cure the systemic decay, preserving the ancient roots required a global, surgical intervention. The master moved to a more aggressive phase of the plan. He began chopping off the dying branches to cast them into the fire. Historically, this botanical surgery corresponds to the violent destruction of the apostate bulk of the nation. The first wave of this destruction arrived with the Assyrian conquest around 722 BC. The second wave culminated in 586 BC with the Babylonian conquest, which effectively dismantled the remaining Jewish state. These conquests were the necessary amputation required to prevent the rot from reaching and killing the ancient roots. After removing the diseased wood, the master plucked off the remaining natural branches and scattered them to the farthest corners of the vineyard to ensure their survival. This migration follows 4 distinct geographical groups: the 10 lost tribes, the remnant of Judah, Lehi's family, and the Mulekites. While the natural branches were being scattered, the master brought in branches from a wild olive tree and grafted them directly into the original trunk. These wild branches represent the Gentiles, non-Israelites, who were brought into the covenant structure to replace the branches that had been removed. Displacing the chosen people while embracing outsiders became the primary mechanism for keeping the covenant roots alive on a global scale. Hundreds of years later, the master returned to survey the results of the grafting. This era, known as the Meridian of Time, aligns with the ministry of Jesus Christ and the work of his apostles as they took the gospel to the Gentile world. The result was surprising. Despite being composed of wild branches, the tree was producing perfect, tame fruit that matched the original. This raises the central question of Zenos's prophecy. How can uncultivated wild branches suddenly produce domesticated, tame fruit? The wild branches yielded good fruit because they were nourished by the original ancient roots. The power belonged to those ancient covenants, which sustained every branch grafted into them. Pedigree and origin were secondary to the tree's survival. The strength of those foundational roots proved capable of sustaining the entire vineyard.